Hello and welcome to the Hands and Strings podcast, formerly called Millie Makes. I decided to mix it up a bit and just change the name of this channel just because Millie Makes, don't know, it sounds a little bit childish, and my name's actually Emily, not Millie, so it's just a bit confusing. And then Hands and Strings kind of could mean a variety of yarny crafts, so not just knitting, but as you'll see in this podcast, there's some weaving, and that's it. But I do like to do other crafts as well. So, and I want this podcast to be inclusive of all of those things. So, yes, Hands and Strings is the new name. So, I thought I'd start today actually with a little poem, because I often watch Amy Palco's podcast, and she always reads a poem, and I always feel so like I always get a message from it, and it's always sort of stays with me. So I think it's just a nice thing to do before we kind of, dive into stuff. So this poem is from a book called Wild Hope by Donna Ashworth, and I've read maybe like half of the poems in here, and they're so lovely, just really heartfelt words. So yeah, this one's called Stardust. They say human bone is almost exactly the same makeup as the breathtaking coral shimmering gracefully in our oceans. They say that stars erupt supernova are responsible for almost all the elements that house our souls. So when you feel small or insignificant, remember this, sweet one. You really are made of stardust, and you are as much a part of this wonderful world as the mountains and the seas. The things that blow your mind, the wonders that call you home, do it for a good reason. You really are made of stardust, and you so very much belong. How lovely is that? Such a beautiful message and beautifully written. So yeah, that's from this book, which I would highly recommend. Okay, let's dive straight in. I have some notes with me today because I thought I'd try and be a bit organised. Don't know why I'm kind of moving all over the place. So finished objects, we have quite a few. I'll first start with I've got two weavings to show you today. Here we go. So this is the first one I made, and this is my first ever weaving. I hope that's picking up on camera nicely. I have still like just lots of yarn and materials in my, close to me that just was sitting there and not doing anything. And I thought, let's try another craft. And I found a video which I will link in the description box below of how to hand make a loom effectively, like really, really basic. You just use a picture frame, obviously without a picture or glass in it, and you wrap string around it and you've got yourself a loom. And I went from there, really, kind of looked up techniques on YouTube, and I put in, I tried to make it as natural as possible, but also with quite a lot of interest. I really, really have these have a really special place in my heart because I think they're just beautiful. I might be biased, but I really do. And it's actually, both of these are hanging up in our lounge, and they just look so pretty. It brings me so much joy to have not only wear things I make, because obviously that's one thing, but to also kind of have our walls, I was gonna say adorned with, but that sounds a bit whatever, but have things I've made displayed in our house. It's just such a nice feeling. It really is. So I've used some roving, which are the big chunky bits, some 100% wools from various places. There's some Lopi in there, some cotton, some linen. So this is my little one. The back is messy. but I don't care because you can't see it when it's on the wall and it's all secure. So yeah, that's the first one. And then this is the bigger one because I bought myself an actual loom. It's still very basic, but it's bigger than the photo frame I was using. So here she is. I think she's beautiful. Exactly the same materials, same methods, just on a much larger scale, probably double the scale. I'd love to have a bigger loom to make huge ones because there's some gorgeous hand fibre artists who make these huge wall hangings, like abstract wall hangings, and I think they're just beautiful, but I'm happy with these as a starting point. And I definitely want to make another one so that I've got 3 in the living room to be like a little set. And yeah, I just love them. I'm so happy with them, and I'd highly recommend trying out weaving if you haven't already. I'm really hoping the camera's kind of picking this up. Yeah. That might be better. Oh! So yeah, super pleased with those. Next, we'll talk about my advent knitting. In my last podcast, I had mentioned that my lovely partner had bought me a advent from Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company. Lovely Emma. I always watch her podcasts and I just think it's amazing what she does. She is a yarn dyer in Ireland, and all of the yarn that she dyes are all dyed naturally. They're non-superwash, and I'll show you what I've made. So this is the Stella quilt cushion by Laura Penrose Knits. Amazing pattern, great fun to make. It's quite involved, but once you get the hang of it, it's really addictive to just keep working on it because you want to see it, the shape form, and yeah, it's just gorgeous. So all of the colours are from the advent. I think I got 12, was it 12 10 gram or was it 12 20 gram? I can't remember, but I'll check and write it down. So I used 8 of the colours in here, and then the white contrast is West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite 4-ply, which is a blend of, I think, Falkland wool and silk, so it's really soft, and I really like the contrast of the really sheepy, not scratchy, but the really sheepy organic feeling yarn that makes the star, and then the really soft, like luxurious feeling of the white. So I have modified the pattern in that. I knit the front pattern, but once I'd finished, I then went round all the edge and did an applied I-cord, and then I just sewed it to the back of a normal cushion cover because I just thought that would be nice. So yeah, and it's got a zip on it so I can take it off and wash it easily and things like that. So yeah, really pleased with that. And if you've got some maybe like some special yarns or just some yarns that you're unsure of what to do with in your stash, then I'd highly recommend looking at both this pattern and the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose. So yes, that's that one. And then also from the advent, I had quite a bit left over, so I made some stripy socks. These are just some vanilla socks. I used the stitch count and like kind of basic form of the sock from the pattern. I think it's called Scrappy, is it? Something Scrappy Socks. I will link it in the description below. But other than that, I just did, each colour has 9 rows, and then I just did a jogless stripe, a jogless joining method, which is actually really good because I have to look to check. I think this is the side. with the jogless stripes. Yeah, they're just really cute and they make me really happy. And it's going to be interesting. This is my first pair of socks. Oh, actually, that's a lie. My first fingering weight pair of socks that don't have like nylon or a mohair held with it. So it'll be really interesting to see how these wear over time. I have worn them a few times actually already, and there's like a bit of felting under the foot, which you'd expect, but that just ultimately that just strengthens the sock. So yeah. Ooh, they are beautiful and I love them. Gorgeous yarn. Just, you can tell it's come from Happy Sheep. Like, I know that sounds funny, but like the love and care and attention that's gone into producing this yarn, you can really feel it. You can really feel it, and it's just, they're just a delight to have on my feet. So yeah, that's those. Okay, we got 2 hats. So I finished, you've seen this one. I talked about this in my last podcast. This is the Musselburgh Hat by Isolde Teague. It is knit with a yarn I got on eBay from a seller called Gorgeous Knits. She sells cones and other things. This is an 100% non-superwash wool in a beautiful bottle green colour. I do really like this hat, but I do struggle with hats. My forehead is so sensitive. It's the most sensitive part of my body will get irritated. Even a non-superwash irritates my forehead and makes it itchy. So this is a bit itchy for my head, which is a shame, but I've still been wearing it. You know, I can, when it's cold, like I need this on my head. So I'll put it on. Yeah, I'll put it on. It's a little bit short, but I don't mind. And I kind of messed up the decreases at the top on one side, but again, I don't care. This is just to chuck it on for, you know, dog walks. Oh yeah, the brim's a bit long. Yeah, so this is hat number 1. It took ages, but I would make another one because I just enjoyed the small circumference knitting in the round on 16-inch cable. So yeah, that's that one. The next one is the Alpine Bloom Hat, which is just gorgeous. Like the colour work. I knit this so quick. I wanted to do some colour work. I had a colour work craving, which is really rare. I don't normally lean towards stranded colour work. But I had the pattern and I thought, let's do this, let's do it. So the green is Rowan, is it Island Blend? I might be wrong. I think it is. It's a mix of wool, alpaca and silk. And I used that as the main colour because I thought that should be less irritating on my forehead because of the silk content. And the white is West Yorkshire Spinners Jacob DK in the ecru, just undyed white colourway. And yeah, they've made a really, really nice fabric. Really, like, it's blocked so nicely. I'd say it's quite neat. I mean, I really don't do much colour work at all, but oh god. But yeah, I am really pleased with how it's blocked out. Now the only problem with this hat is that it's too big. It's way too big. The pattern calls for sport weight yarn, but I was like, oh, I'm a tight knitter, I'll just use DK, and that was a mistake because it is too big. And also it said to, if you want to do a double folded brim, or just a folded brim, sorry, to knit to 4 inches, which I did, and then fold over like that. But if I put this on, hang on, quite funny really. Hang on. You can see like all of this bagging at the top. So what I've been doing is I've been tucking my hair, tucking the ribbing at the brim in fully like that, and then just wearing it like this, which is much better. It's really warm, and it's functional. It does the job that you want a hat to do. It keeps your head warm and it keeps your ears warm. Yeah, really nice addictive colour work. So yeah, that's the other hat. I haven't talked about what I'm wearing because that's a finished object as well. We'll talk about that after these. So these are a pair of felted mittens, knit using Letlopi, which is an Icelandic single plied wool, very rustic. I bought, I think, 5 balls of it on eBay from someone who's obviously having a de-stash for a really good price, and I wanted to try it, and I'm really pleased that I did buy it actually, because these are great. I think they're so good. I'll put them on. They're just like the most, they're rustic feeling, they're scratchy, but they're so warm, and like how cute are these? Look at the fuzz coming off of that. It's like insane. So the pattern I followed is called Dumfries. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will link to it below. And you knit a mitten, a big mitten, and then what I did to felt them was I put them in the washing machine on a quick cycle, which is an hour at 60 degrees, and there were some tea towels and other rags in there with them, and it worked perfectly. One of them is slightly bigger than the other one, so this one is bigger than this one, but I mean not by enough that you can really tell, I don't think. They're just so cute. I'm so pleased with them. They fit perfectly, like especially this one. They are just brilliant. I just think felted anything is really nice. Like I just love the effect it gives. So hopefully these will last me a long time. We don't get freezing weather in the UK, really. I say in the UK, I mean England. It's got to about -5 or 6 overnight. But in the day, maybe -2, 3 has been our kind of coldest point. But I am one of those people that I get cold so easily, and I hate being cold. Hate it. I'd rather be hot than cold. My partner's the opposite. He'd rather be cold than hot. So things like this, when we're going out for a dog walk in the morning and it's really cold and my hands are freezing, are brilliant. Like my hands are so toasty right now, and they've only been on 1 minute. Anyway, I'll stop rambling about them. I'll link the pattern down below. And they make great gifts too. I think I'm gonna knit some of these, or make some of these for gifts. For gifts this Christmas. I mean, it's just been Christmas, hasn't it? But it would be nice to have some in a little box ready to go. So yeah, that's Dumfries, and I love them so much that I've cast on another pair. I made one. This is the size that they are, unfelted. Woohoo! Hang on. There we go. You can see. Very big and floppy. This pair I'm knitting in Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool in the colour Oatmeal. Really like Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool. It's just a nice yarn, and affordable as well. I just need to make the other one, and I'm hoping that's enough. If not, we'll see. I love that pattern. Final whip. This is a long one because I've been making quite a lot of accessories, so it feels like I've got loads to talk about. I've got loads of whips as well. So I hope you're you've got a drink, you've got your knitting, and you're enjoying the waffle. Just have a sip of my tea. I'm drinking a chai tea. It's one of my favourite teas. I just love chai. One of my favourite drinks is a chai latte. I've not had one in ages, actually, but a sweetener or some sugar, because I don't really have a sweet tooth, but when it comes to hot drinks, I do like a sweet hot drink. Okay, let's talk about whips. Oh no, wait, have I talked about, no, I haven't talked about this yet. This is, I can't remember the name, but it's Sweater Number Something by My Favourite Things Knitwear. But my gauge was off. My gauge is a lot smaller. Yeah, a lot smaller. So I kind of followed both. Don't ask me why. I kind of followed the pattern for the Earth pullover by Ozetta and the Sweater Number whatever it is by My Favourite Things Knitwear, and yeah, I love it. It's great. Perfect. I'm so pleased that I've been able to finish it by this winter. It's been really nice to wear. I mean, I've only worn it a few times since I finished it. It's a really wearable, relaxed, oversized sweater. I'll stand up so maybe you can see a bit better. One thing I wish is that I'd made it longer, or maybe like a tad, no, not shorter. I'm not a huge fan of where it's hitting me on the hips, because obviously my hips are like the widest point, so it's a little bit sacky, potato sacky, but I still really like it. It's got obviously it's a drop shoulder, big oversized sleeves, nice bit of ribbing and nice finishing details, nice tubular bind off on the cuffs and neckline and hem. The neckline's pretty, well, it's not huge when I pull it all the way up, but I wear it, fold it down. Yeah, it's a nice jumper. I like it. The main strand is some green wool that I picked up at Buxton Wool Gathering last year, which it wasn't branded. It was just, I think I talked about it before, a guy kind of selling yarn in the corner without labels or anything. So I picked up that, and then I held a strand of, I've actually got it here, Valley Yarns Southampton, which is a 72% mohair and 28% silk in the colour Spring Moss, I think it's called. Colour 003, but I think it's called Spring Moss. Really nice green. So yeah, I can't really say what size I knit, because I was going off 2 patterns and I was just kind of doing it to what looked right. I know that's really rubbish, sorry. But yeah, I'm pleased with it. It's good. Would make another one, but in a more neutral colour. It's nice to have bright colours, like you know, those sort of statement pieces, but then it's also, I think my heart really lies more in neutrals and natural wool shades. There's something about that just I love. So yeah, okay, that's it with the whips, and we're the finished objects. That's it with the finished objects, and we're already at 25 minutes, so let's move on to whips. Let's talk about this one first. This is a self-drafted pattern. It's not even a pattern really. Self-drafted scarf I'm working on. I'm calling it the Roll With It scarf. Basically, I'm so inspired by, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, but I think it's Mette KNITS, I think it's called. I'll link to her Instagram. But she makes a lot of like garments and accessories made with magic knot balls. And I was like, I need that in my life. Like, I'm craving, this time of year, I'm really craving colour and like fun and whimsy and things that just make me happy, basically. So I cast on, well, hang on, I made 2 magic knot balls. I think they were about 100 grams each one, with fingering weight mainly, yarns, scraps. And I'm just knitting. I cast on 100 stitches and I'm knitting in the round, and I'm going to just keep going till it's long enough for me to, I want it to be a wraparound scarf to have like, you know, it's like a decent hangy bit each side. This isn't making any sense, but a decent length so that it's big and chunky and warm. So yeah. Oh dear, we've got some gold. Whoa. Yeah, so I'm using the 2 magic knot balls, and then what I'm doing is kind of intuitively like adding bits in. So most of it's got a strand of white mohair. What is going on? Look, can you see this gold? There we go. Most of it's got a strand of white mohair held throughout, but there's places where I've dropped the mohair to make the colours brighter. There's places where I've held a strand of this, which is just a man-made fibre glitter, but it does look very cool in here. Trying to find, yeah, you can see it, like the shimmery bits, it just adds a little something, as if it needs more adding to it. Yeah, and I'm kind of intuitively just knitting it on it. It's a really nice project to have on the go in between the more boring projects. This is just really joyful, so I'm just trying to take it quite slow really, and I'm knitting on it as and when, and there's no deadline for it to be finished by. Yeah, just love it, it's so fun. Also great for advent yarn, minis and things like that to put into a magic knot ball. Love magic knot balls. I want to make a, how cool would this look in a jumper? That was my original plan, but we've gone for a scarf for now, and then who knows, maybe next year I'll do a full-on jumper. Yeah, so squishy and nice. And also the other good thing is that when it's finished, when it's the length I want it to, I can just sew this end up and not have to weave in any ends. How amazing is that? Because imagine if I wove in all these ends. I mean, this is just the bottom. It's mad. So now I can just stitch it up at both ends, and it's done. So yeah, I would highly recommend giving it a go if you want. Will it get loads of wear? I don't know, maybe. This style of knitting is a trend prediction, I think. I reckon magic knot balls and that kind of scrappy, I know it's a thing now, but I think it might become more of a thing this year, especially in garments and accessories and even homeware. Like, this kind of fabric is just so fun, and it's so fun to knit. So yeah, that's my self-drafted roll with it scarf. Okay, next whip is a long-term whip, and I've never shown it on the podcast, but it is the Cameo Vest by Orlane Souche, sorry. It's really not got very far. I cast this on in, I can't remember now, maybe 4 months ago or like 5 months ago, and I love the pattern. I think it's so pretty and so cute, and it will just look amazing over, I've got this black and white gingham dress with like long puffy sleeves, and I just think this would look so nice over it. But I just don't want to knit on it, and I don't know why. I can't figure out why. I think because it's quite involved in that you're working back and forth, you're working the cable. I don't think you're cabling on the wrong side, but it's just like, it's quite long. You can see it's worked flat, so but it is stunning. It is going to be such a stunning piece. I kind of regret my yarn choice. I'm using Drops Lima. It's lovely. Drops Lima in, I think it's chalk. I just know that it's going to pill. Probably. Then again, it's not the type of garment that I would wear every day. Ooh! It's more the type of garment that I'd wear if I'm kind of trying to look nice rather than just chilling at home like I am now, like I would be now, sort of thing. So maybe it won't pill too much. I really would like to get it done. I think I'll probably pick it up more in the spring, maybe. Would probably be nice to knit on in the spring because it's not like a big, huge jumper. I will get it finished, just yeah, it's just been languishing, unfortunately. But that's okay. There's no deadline. It's nice to actually get it out the bag and look at it again, because it's made me want it again, like get excited about it. So yeah, that's the Cameo Vest. The next whip is, oh, the last one. The last whip is a pair of Sunday socks. And guys, I cast this on yesterday. And look how much I've knit. I'm like halfway through the foot. These are the Sunday socks by Petite Knit. I knit a pair of these, I think it was this time last year, and they have seen so much wear. Excuse me. They've seen so much wear. They're still holding up. I've just washed them actually. They're just drying now. But I was like, I need another pair, because they're great just around the house to put over another pair of socks, because there's nothing worse than cold feet. And these are just great. They knit up super quick. I'm using Plutalopi, which is an unspun Icelandic wool, which is interesting, isn't it? Because you think, surely for socks you want a really high twist, like really highly twisted yarn to make it more durable. But I've seen other people using unspun for socks, and they say that it actually wears really well, because I think I don't know. So I thought I'd just try it. I only have this one cake. In my stash. But I'm holding it with some Rowan Kid Silk Haze colour for strength and stability and structure. And it's just going to be interesting to see how they wear. And they knit up so quick that, you know, it doesn't matter really, but it would just be really nice to have another pair of Sunday socks in my hand knit sock collection. You can't beat chunky slipper socks, can you? Something about them. And look at the fuzz on that. It's just the most delightful fabric. And they're so, obviously they're ribbed, so it's super stretchy. The fuzz is mad. So yeah, that's the first sock. They're going to be done really quickly, because like I say, I cast this one on yesterday and I'm halfway through the foot. So yeah, that's that, guys. That's it. I actually managed to get through that a lot quicker than I thought. But I do have some other stuff to chat about. Just have a sip of my tea, which is now cold. I've got a swatch to show you, which is going to be a future, well, probably casted on pretty soon, probably within the next week. And I have a couple of acquisitions, nothing crazy. I got a lot of knitting related stuff for Christmas, which is amazing. And I thought I'd just show a couple of those with you. So where have I put them? Oh, they're just here. I'll show you the swatch first. So this is a swatch made with two really lovely yarns. So the first one is Hillersvåg Tinned, I think, which is a Norwegian wool from the company Hillersvåg, who produce the yarn basically. It's lovely. My in-laws picked up some for me when they went to Norway. And it's been sitting in my stash for ages, and I've not known what to make with it. And funnily enough, this is the colour Natural. I think Natural Gra, but I think that probably means just natural. It's got a beautiful fuzz and halo to it, when it's knit up especially. And then I'm holding it with a strand of woolly knit British wool. They're one of their cones. I think this is the colour Oatmeal. Yeah, Oatmeal. And here's the swatch. It's gorgeous, guys. It's fuzzy, it's rustic, and it's going to be perfect for an outer layer slash, you know, home cardigan jacket type thing. So what I'm just stuck with what pattern to do. I think, what is my gauge for this fabric? Because I love this fabric, and I want to work to this gauge because it's like, it's dense, but at the same time you can see it's got some airiness to it. I think this is a 17 or 18 stitch gauge, and originally I was thinking of doing the, is it Zakuri cardigan, which is gorgeous, I love it, but I'm on the fence between that and the is it the Seasons cardigan? I don't think that's right, but it's like the longer cardigan by Ozetta, drop shoulder, really relaxed looking, like buttoned up. I'm just on the fence. Which one should I go for? Which one do you think this fabric will work best with? Try and pick up the halo and the fuzz. It's gorgeous, it's so lovely. Yeah, so do help me out. Oh, please help me. Yeah. I've also had the Miles shirt jacket in my queue for a while, but I don't know if I've got enough yarn. I don't think I have. Yeah. And also I don't, because it is quite, I say it's rustic, but you know, it's no more irritable than this jumper. So maybe I don't know, help me. I want to do something with pockets as well, because I've never made pockets before. Funnily enough, I cast on, using these two yarns together, the Last Long Pullover by Albiona McLaughlin. I think it's a stunning pattern, and I really, really want the finished item, but it was just the wrong yarn, it was too thick, and the knit stitches, I need to like look at whether it's my method of doing fisherman's rib, but they were all puffy and like they weren't the nice straight lines like the other ones looked. So I frogged that. I'd knit all the yoke and I'd knit maybe like 2 inches of the body, and I just didn't want to knit on it because I just knew that it wasn't the right pattern for this yarn. This yarn's too dense and springy and thick and just wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right, so I frogged it, and I feel good about that. So yeah, it just looks, I think it just suits a stockinette stitch better. So yeah, that's the swatch and future cast on plan-ish. And then lastly, I'll just show you a couple of acquisitions. So for Christmas, I asked my partner for a new knitting needle case, because my needle case was just not, it was not working out. So I asked for the, is it Mood? Is that how you pronounce it? Mood. I can't remember exactly what like model this is, but I will link it in the description. And it's, look, it folds up so tiny and compact. It's got a popper, and it's got 2 poppers you can use, and then it unfolds. And look at that, it's brilliant. It's 100% leather. All the needles, all my interchangeable needles go in down the bottom, and they don't slip out, and that was the issue with my other one, because it's leather, it's got grip, so the metal really stays put. And then this other side here I'm using for all my cables. So I've got my higher like smaller tip ones in there, and then I've got my higher normal ones in this side, and I've got my Knit Pro other needle set ones in the middle. And then you've got this huge zip to like put whatever you want in there. I don't actually have anything in there right now, but it's brilliant. And then it's like, you know, good size, and then it just folds down to this portable, practical little pouch. And they're not cheap, this brand, Mood. This is the only thing I have, but I think if you are a hardcore knitter, then it's worth investing in, or it depends on your situation, of course it does, but if you are able to invest in high quality accessories and things that help you and that you're using a lot and that you know will last probably a lifetime, I think it's worth it as Christmas gifts and, you know, things like that. So I just thought I'd mention that because been really pleased with it. Thanks, Andy, who's now my husband, by the way. Yeah, I'm actually married now. I'm a married woman. I'll insert a picture of me wearing my my dress and my knitted museau, which I think I'm going to frog because I'm not going to wear that again and I want to use the yarn for something else. I also got the Knitting for Olive pattern book because I want to knit more from books because it can be more affordable, and I've got so many patterns already. Well, I say so many. I've got a decent amount of patterns in my library that are there, and then I've also got books with patterns in, and it is cheaper than buying them all. There's some really nice ones in here, to be honest. Really nice basics, and I really like the chunky ribbed patterns, like this one, Fennel Sweater. I think that's really nice. I really want to knit the Barbro blouse, I think you call it. It's so gorgeous, and I actually have some yarn in stash that I think could work really nicely. It's Holst Garn Coast in the colour Dove. It's a light fingering, 50% cotton, 50% merino. So yeah, I think that could be really nice. Anyway, that is that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that your 2024 has started off as well as it can. I know that this time of year is hard for, like, I'd say most people find this time of year hard. I mean, it's so grey, it's cold, it's dark, but I mean, although today is one of those days, we've definitely been having days where there's been a gorgeous blue sky and the sun's been out and it's getting later. Sorry, it's getting dark later. But yeah, I hope that you're sort of finding things to make yourself feel calm and, you know, find and joy where you can. Like, do something different, find something to get your mind and your hands engaged in. And sometimes for me, as a creative person, but as someone who's always been making and creating, and I need those projects that are fun. And actually that's one of my goals for 2024 is to give myself more fun in my making. And definitely some examples of that are, you know, this scarf. If I'm feeling flat and grey and in a dull mood, I can pick this up, and even though I might be feeling grey, this scarf is giving me colour. It's giving me colour therapy. So yeah, things like that. Find something that's out of your comfort zone. Okay, maybe you're not going to wear it every day, but it's all, you know, it's one thing I've learned is so much in life is about the process, and it's not about the final destination. It's about just enjoying where you are and not always thinking 10 steps ahead, you know. It's just about being present. And I was actually having a conversation with my dad yesterday, and, you know, putting the world to rights, is that how you say it? And we're just saying, you know, so many people live only thinking, you know, 10 steps ahead, and you know, their whole life goes by and they've only ever been living in the future and they've not been here now, and that's a shame. So yeah, that's definitely something I've learned over time, is just living humbly and living more presently, and finding those, for me, life's about finding small joys, and they're the things that make life, aren't they? So yeah, anyway, that's rambly, and wish you all a wonderful start to the year, and I will see you soon. Bye.